let's talk around adapting, right? Now, I think you guys, I'm not going to spend much time on these companies here, but Blockbuster didn't exactly adapt to the degree it should have. Now, the funny thing, the interesting thing around Blockbuster, by the way, side note, if you're into some podcasts, there's a great one called Business Wars, and its very first season, they do them in seasons, is Blockbuster versus Netflix. If you want to hear a great story on survival and competition, Blockbuster versus Netflix. Now, the funny thing was that Blockbuster, believe it or not, had the right ideas. They actually constructed an online platform to complement their physical stores. Blockbuster On Demand, I think was the name of the online platform. However, when they had a shift in leadership, the new leadership came in and said, nah, that's BS. That's not going to work. We need to get back to our focus of brick and mortar. How'd that shake out for them? By the time they recognized what was going on and the DVD rental model had taken over and Blockbuster had scaled back as opposed to scaling up, Netflix had killed them. Research in Motion, which you guys probably remember is the old BlackBerry. Now, it's funny, in a mastermind group Brett and I are in, there's still one guy with a BlackBerry, Jeff Glover out of Michigan.
Keeps him in business.
And he literally, that's the joke, that's the running joke, like Jeff Glover keeps BlackBerry around. But we kind of know what happened with Research in Motion with BlackBerry. They owned that PDA smartphone market. At one point had 75% or so. And how'd that shake out? They died. They failed to adapt. Now, Apple would be the opposite of that, specifically during the Jobs era. Right? I know everyone knows the Apple inside and out, and I don't need to get into that too much, but the bottom line is it continued to reinvent itself. Like if you go back, and if you've read Walter Isaacson's bio on Jobs, you can see a series of reinventions for that guy every 5 years, and his companies every 5 years. Gets booted out of his company, comes back and reinvents it again. That's adapt. That's adapting. And I think that's what we're talking about a little bit as we get into the shift.